So we're here, you're on Streetbeat, Neil's on holidays, you've got Martin and Heidi in the studio, and it's great to have your company. All right.
I found the webpage, Mentoring Men. I'm ready to
Good,
go.
good.
Okay.
All right, has it got the event, the walk? It doesn't have how he went to...
The stories become a mentoring, news and events. Let's see if there's something there. Mentoring Men, Men's Walk and Talk, Narrabeen.
That's the one.
That's the one. You're interested in it?
Yeah.
And that's on the 19th of November.
Yeah.
Dieter Monch, is that the director?
Yeah.
Dieter, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Dieter Monch. And Ian Westmoreland.
Yep.
Recent trip to Canberra, okay.
Oh, is that in there? The recent trip to Canberra?
Yeah, it's something about a non-for-profits article in the latest monthly chronicle. So you could,
They're we're on the cusp of getting deductible gift recipients recognised charity. Yeah, application went forward, and it's going to happen. I know. Yeah. So you have one of these, Heidi?
I do, yeah.
Okay. All
Could you
right.
pass me that again? 'Cause I've missed, that's what I missed. I'll give it back to you.
And I did a presentation at. I've done two presentations at one at St Ives Rotary and one at Turramurra Rotary,
Yeah.
and so we've had a couple of grand out of them. Commonwealth Bank Hornsby gave us $500. Yeah, and an
You can't
anonymous
see it,
donor
but we're
gave
talking about
20,000.
mentoring men, and Greg's involved in this. So we're going to have a bit of chat about this now.
Yeah. All right.
Love the photo. That's Mount Everest, isn't it?
Yeah, the idea behind it, or whether it is,
No, it might not be. It doesn't look.
no,
enough stuff.
but the idea is that men are climbing a challenge.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
How long we got?
5 seconds. Triple H and Streetbeat, 19 minutes to 6 o'clock, and taking a look and just chatting around between Martin, Heidi and myself, and giving thought to here in the Hornsby-Ku-ring-gai district, where we have a unique free one-on-one mentoring program for men over the age of 17. So the program is called Mentoring Men. I am involved in it, Martin. You have been quickly briefed on it. Heidi, you have heard about it, but since its inception in January of this year, we now have about 30 relationships or programs in place where someone has walked up and said, yeah, I would like a mentor. And then about, I think, 60 guys have put their hands up and said, yeah, I want to contribute to community. I want to contribute to men's health.
Isn't that great? So you've got 60 people, men, who want to be mentors to presumably 60 or more mentees.
Yep.
And looking at the website, since you mentioned it, they've got some training and they do all sorts of that. And you're involved in it, are you?
I am. There's free training for people who want to be mentors, and that is a specially designed program for men, and it's based on the RAISE program, which is a program that is in school for adolescent boys, where they have mentors coming into the schools, and it's helping with, counsellors at schools will go, look, I've got this teenage boy, he needs a mentor, and that RAISE program, Ian Westmoreland, one of our directors, was involved in that program, and he made the decision, or at one point in time needed to look for a male mentor himself, and there was nothing.
It's interesting because I've got a 26-year-old son, and what we used to do when we used to sort of talk when he was a teenager is we'd sit in the car side by side and just drive, we're going somewhere and you're not looking at each other, you're just chatting, sort of thing like that. And did it with my daughter as well. But what I noticed here when I was looking online, they've got this men's walk and talk around Narrabeen Lagoon Trail.
An event that is coming up, and just give us some details,
yeah, sure.
Martin.
It's on Tuesday the 19th of November at 5 p.m. and I see you're interested on Facebook, so you're there on it. And I know that trail well, as I've done a 12-hour run on that course there on the eastern side. So you can go, it's a beautiful trail there, and the water's there, and there's birds and the rest. So it'll be a very peaceful place, and similar concept. You're just side by side, chatting or not chatting, and just being at peace.
Unfortunately, Heidi, women are totally left out of this event, and I don't know. Look, how does that work, or how does that sit with you? Do you go, oh, I would have liked to have gone on that, and because my husband's interested, or because we say, look, this is for men?
I think it's important for men to have men's spaces, you know, and we have men's sheds and things like that where men can go and talk about things that are important to them, and I have no problem with that at all. Women have women's organisations for the same reason, so...
We talked about the women's shed last week, didn't we?
We did, yeah. So
the walk around Narrabeen Lakes has been inspired by another group of men who started walking along the Nepean River. And this guy just had a couple of mates, and they wanted just blokes to talk to. And I don't know how it was found out about it, but recently, or most recently, one of their walks attracted 200 blokes.
Wow, that's huge, isn't it?
So it's guys who are either retired, lonely, unemployed, or just interested in the well-being of another mate or another bloke.
I've got a mate who lives in Yass, and he won't mind me talking about this, and I plan these holidays to visit him, and he only rang me this morning and said, listen Martin, I'm really struggling at the moment, I'm in a lot of pain, this time round we'll have to have a rain check on you coming to visit me.
Is it physical pain?
Physical pain, okay. and a bit of psychological as well, and he said this time round we'll have to have a break, and so you've got to respect that. But he reached back to me and sort of said, you know, we'll find another time, and so every day we're texting each other or calling each other, how you going, how's your day, and things like that. And so if you've got a brother or an uncle or a grandfather or even a father, sometimes they just need someone to chat to.
So we say check out the website mentoringmen.org.au, or of course there's a Facebook page. Look, you can just communicate via text or messaging, and if you're interested in the program, whether you either want to volunteer your time to mentor a person, or whether you feel that you would like to be involved or just have someone to talk to. Now, relaying my personal experience, when the program was when it was launched in November last year, you know, we had nothing, no one to be involved. We had a bunch of blokes who said, yes, we want to become mentors. A training program was designed, but we had no applicants. And I just had this thing, I thought, I'll be a mentee, I'd like a mentor. And there's a few retired blokes, professionals, and I got matched up with a bloke who was in his early 70s. He's retired. He bike rides, which is like what I do, and he plays the harp or mouth organ.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and because I run another program on this station called the Jazz and Blues Breakfast, Thursday mornings from 7 a.m. And so one of the guys knew, said, Greg's into that, and you're into that, and I think you'll be good. We've had a relationship for 8 months now, and I didn't think I was struggling with anything, but I lost my dad 4 years ago, and I worked with him for 15 years, and he had been unwell, and I had accepted that when he died that I was relieved because he was no longer struggling with it. He was ready to put his hand up and say, I'm going to peg out, man. And so for that I felt like, you know, that was good. But I didn't realise that maybe I hadn't really grieved properly. And through my conversations with Phil, I had because he's going, you know, you've got a good work life, you're active, you're healthy, why do you need a mentor? And sort of went, I don't know. And then I had a light bulb moment, just because he prompted me to say, mate, you've got all this going for you, what do you need? And I said, you know what, I need someone to go and have a beer with on Friday afternoon.
And it worked?
Yeah.
And you're still doing it?
Yeah. You know, we went to the jazz, speaking of live music, once a month, Magpies Waitara has a jazz afternoon. And we went to that, and but, you know, he goes, you know they have $4.50 pints at Magpies Waitara for members on Thursday nights. No, I did not know that. He goes, let's do that. And I went, okay, sounds good.
That's great.
Yeah, and so now Phil understands the benefits, because he couldn't see the benefit that he was giving me as a mentor. And but I knew that it was good for me. And all our mentors need to have working with children checks, national crime background checks. They need to do a Lifeline accidental counsellor course, which is all paid for by Mentoring Men, and Mentoring Men will reimburse you if there's costs involved in your training, like the national crime check. And so therefore, yeah, we want mentors on board, but we also want people who would like a mentee, and you can just be an ordinary person like me with you know, like my mentor said, why do you need a mentor? And I didn't know, but I think I had this thing inside me that said, I do need a mentor for something.
And how many years later, after your father died, you realised this?
Well, it's been 4 years
So
since
it's been
he
4
died.
years, yeah, and just this year.
Yeah, and well, it was only with a mentor who would talk to me and gave me time did I realise.
Wow.
So yeah, so the program looks. Can you run through that walk again?
Yeah, sure. The walk is on the. Let me go to the right section. The walk is on the Tuesday, the 19th of November at 5 p.m. And there's a really good brochure that I've got on my hand here called Mentoring Men with double M's sort of over it. And there's a picture of, looks like Mount Everest, but I don't know if it is Mount Everest. But from my point of view, I think it's about the challenges that men have about climbing to.
Sometimes we face a challenge that is really a little bit too high to get over.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
So mentoringmen.org.au, check it out. You're on Streetbeat with Heidi, Martin and Greg, and it's 9 minutes to 6. All right.
That's good.
Good
That was
stuff.
good.
Yeah.